Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you've joined me today, and I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. The world is noisy, chaotic, and full of distractions. It pulls you in 1,000 directions, demanding your attention, your energy, and sometimes even your sense of self. But there comes a point where you have to ask, who am I when the noise fades away? What remains when the crowd disperses, when the screens go dark, and you're left with nothing but yourself? The answer to that question is one of the most important you'll ever seek. Being alone is not a tragedy, it is an art. And like any art, it requires practice, patience, and courage. Because to truly master the art of being alone, you must confront the parts of yourself that you might rather ignore. You must sit with your fears, your regrets, your ambitions, and your dreams. You must learn to listen to that quiet voice within that has been drowned out for too long. People often confuse loneliness with solitude. Loneliness is a craving for connection. It's a hollow ache that comes from feeling unseen, unheard, or unloved. But solitude is different. Solitude is a choice. It's the deliberate act of stepping away from the external to reconnect with the internal. In solitude, you don't lose yourself, you find yourself. When you embrace solitude, you give yourself the gift of self-discovery. You begin to see who you really are when there's no one else around to define you. You discover your strengths and your vulnerabilities. You confront your insecurities and your potential. And in that space of self-awareness, you start to build a foundation that no one can shake, a foundation of self-reliance. Being alone also sharpens your focus. It clears away the noise and lets you think deeply, create boldly, and act decisively. Some of the greatest ideas in history were born out of solitude. It's in the quiet moments that you can truly hear the whispers of inspiration and see the solutions to problems that once seemed insurmountable. But here's the thing, when you're comfortable being alone, you're not isolating yourself from others. Quite the opposite. You're preparing yourself to connect with them more authentically. When you don't depend on others to fill a void, you approach relationships with openness, not desperation. You engage with people not because you need them, but because you value them. And that's what makes solitude so powerful. It transforms you. It makes you stronger, more focused, more resilient. It teaches you to face the world not as someone looking for answers outside of yourself, but as someone who already carries those answers within. So don't fear being alone. Don't see it as a punishment or a problem to be fixed. See it as an opportunity, a challenge to grow, to learn, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Because the art of being alone is not about shutting the world out. It's about building a world within. And when you master that art, there's nothing you can't face. To embrace solitude as strength is to fundamentally shift your perspective on what it means to be alone. Society often glorifies constant connection, framing solitude as a sign of weakness or isolation. But in truth, choosing to spend time alone is not a retreat from the world, it is an act of courage. It requires you to step away from external validation and distractions to face yourself fully. This is not an easy task. It takes strength to sit with your thoughts, especially when they are uncomfortable. It takes strength to resist the urge to escape into the noise of others' opinions or the numbing allure of endless entertainment. Solitude offers a space to cultivate resilience. In those quiet moments, you begin to understand that your worth isn't tied to the presence or approval of others. You realize that you can stand on your own, navigate challenges, and find fulfillment within yourself. The strength gained from solitude is not the kind that shouts loudly. It's the quiet, unshakable confidence of knowing you are enough. When you embrace solitude, you also gain the ability to make decisions with clarity. Without the constant input of external voices, you start to distinguish your own desires and values from those imposed by the world around you. This self-awareness is empowering. It allows you to act from a place of authenticity, making choices that align with your true self rather than simply following the crowd. Furthermore, solitude teaches you that strength doesn't always come from action, it often comes from stillness. In solitude, you learn patience. You learn to sit with uncertainty and trust that answers will emerge. You develop the mental fortitude to face life's challenges with grace, knowing that you have the inner resources to endure and grow. To embrace solitude as strength is not to turn away from others, but to prepare yourself to engage with them more fully. It is about recognizing that your value doesn't diminish when you are alone. In fact, it increases because it is in those solitary moments that you build the foundation of who you are, a foundation that will support you no matter where life takes you or who stands beside you. Solitude is not a weakness to be feared, it is a strength to be celebrated. Self-discovery through solitude is one of the most profound journeys a person can undertake. In a world that is constantly vying for your attention, being alone creates a unique opportunity to step away from the noise and truly hear yourself. When you are by yourself, free from the influence of others, you begin to uncover the layers of your own identity. These moments allow you to ask questions that often go unexamined. Who am I? What do I truly want? What do I value most? In solitude, you are not performing for anyone. You are not adjusting your behavior to fit in or meet someone else's expectations. This absence of external pressure creates a space where you can be authentic, where you can explore your thoughts and emotions without judgment. It's in this space that you begin to understand the things that matter most to you. You learn to distinguish between what you've been told you should want and what genuinely resonates with your inner self. This process of self-discovery is not always comfortable. When you're alone, there's no one to distract you from your doubts, fears, or unresolved issues. But this discomfort is a gift. It forces you to confront aspects of yourself that may have been buried beneath the demands of daily life or the expectations of others. By facing these truths, you grow stronger and more self-aware. Solitude also allows you to reconnect with your passions and dreams. Often the busyness of life pulls you away from the things that once brought you joy. Alone time gives you the chance to rediscover what excites and inspires you. Whether it's creating art, writing, exploring nature, or simply reflecting, these moments can reignite a sense of purpose and direction. Moreover, self-discovery through solitude deepens your relationship with yourself. You begin to trust your instincts, recognize your strengths, and accept your flaws. You develop a sense of independence that isn't reliant on external affirmation. This inner confidence becomes a guiding light, helping you navigate life with clarity and authenticity. In solitude, you realize that self-discovery is not a destination but a lifelong journey. It's about peeling back the layers, understanding the complexities of your own mind and heart, and becoming more aligned with the person you want to be. These moments of reflection are the foundation for personal growth, providing the insight and strength needed to live a life that is true to who you are. Distinguishing loneliness from solitude is essential for understanding the profound benefits of being alone. While they might seem similar on the surface, they are fundamentally different experiences shaped by mindset and intention. Loneliness is a feeling of absence, a sense that something or someone is missing. It arises when we crave connection but feel isolated or disconnected from others. Loneliness often carries an emotional weight, leaving us yearning for companionship or validation to fill an inner void. Solitude, on the other hand, is not about absence but presence with oneself. It is a deliberate choice to spend time alone, not out of necessity but out of desire. Solitude is not a reaction to a lack of connection but an opportunity to deepen connection with yourself. It is about embracing the quiet, valuing your own company, and finding fulfillment in moments of introspection and reflection. The distinction lies in the way we perceive and approach aloneness. Loneliness often stems from external circumstances or unmet social needs. It can make us feel vulnerable, isolated, or even incomplete. Solitude, however, is an internal state of being. It comes from within, fueled by the understanding that being alone can be a source of strength, creativity, and clarity. To distinguish the two, it's important to recognize that loneliness often feels imposed, while solitude is chosen. When we feel lonely, we might see the absence of others as a problem to be solved. In solitude, we see the absence of others as a gifted chance to recharge, reflect, and grow. Understanding this distinction allows us to shift our perspective on being alone. Instead of fearing it or rushing to escape it, we can learn to embrace it as a valuable aspect of life. Solitude invites us to explore who we are without the noise and expectations of the world. It reminds us that our worth is not tied to the presence of others, but to the relationship we cultivate with ourselves. This doesn't mean solitude is about rejecting connection or avoiding relationships. On the contrary, when we learn to find peace and fulfillment in solitude, we approach our relationships with greater authenticity and confidence. We engage with others not out of need or dependency, but from a place of mutual respect and genuine interest. Distinguishing loneliness from solitude is ultimately about reframing our experience of aloneness. It's about realizing that while loneliness may occasionally visit us, it doesn't have to define us. By embracing solitude, we discover that being alone is not a condition to be feared, but an opportunity to be cherished, a chance to meet ourselves and find the strength, creativity, and peace that only comes from within. Loneliness and solitude may appear similar at first glance, but they are profoundly different experiences that arise from contrasting states of mind and intention. Loneliness is often an emotional experience, a feeling of lack or emptiness stemming from a yearning for connection that seems absent. It is the ache of being isolated when you desire companionship, a disconnection that feels imposed and unwanted. In loneliness, the absence of others feels like a void, a reminder of unmet needs and unfulfilled social bonds. It often leaves a person feeling incomplete, vulnerable, or even unworthy, as if the presence of others is necessary to validate their existence. Solitude, by contrast, is a choice, a deliberate and empowering decision to spend time alone. It is not a reaction to what is missing, but an embrace of what is present, the opportunity to engage deeply with oneself. Solitude is not about isolation in a negative sense, but about creating space for introspection, creativity, and personal growth. In solitude, the absence of others does not signify a void. Instead, it creates a fertile ground for reflection, peace, and self-discovery. It allows you to listen to your inner voice without the distraction of external influences. The key difference lies in perception and agency. Loneliness often feels like something that happens to you, a circumstance beyond your control. It is accompanied by a longing for what is missing and a sense of being adrift. Solitude, however, is something you choose and cultivate. It is a state of empowerment where you find richness in your own company and take the time to nurture your inner world. To further distinguish the two, loneliness is frequently accompanied by a sense of longing for connection that isn't being met, while solitude offers an opportunity to connect with yourself more deeply. In loneliness, being alone feels like a deficiency. In solitude, it becomes a strength. Solitude teaches you that fulfillment does not always require the presence of others, and that peace and creativity can thrive in quiet moments. Recognizing the difference between these experiences allows you to shift your perspective. You can begin to see solitude not as a condition to avoid, but as a gift to embrace. Solitude is not about rejecting relationships or isolating yourself from the world, but about becoming comfortable in your own presence. It prepares you to engage with others from a place of authenticity and self-sufficiency, enhancing the quality of your connections rather than depending on them to fill a perceived void. Understanding this distinction is liberating. It means that you can transform moments of aloneness into opportunities for growth and self-reflection. Solitude becomes a tool for building resilience and clarity, while loneliness, though natural at times, can be acknowledged and addressed without defining your experience. When you learn to embrace solitude, you discover that being alone is not a limitation, but an invitation to deepen your understanding of yourself and find a sense of wholeness that is unshaken by external circumstances. Being alone provides a unique and invaluable opportunity to sharpen focus and unleash creativity. In a world filled with constant distractions, solitude creates the space needed to think deeply and work with clarity. When you are alone, free from the demands of social interactions and the noise of daily life, your mind has the freedom to wander, explore, and concentrate on the tasks or ideas that matter most. This uninterrupted mental space is a fertile ground where focus and creativity can thrive. Focus requires a level of sustained attention that is difficult to achieve when surrounded by constant interruptions. Solitude allows you to eliminate these distractions and immerse yourself fully in what you are doing. Whether it's solving a complex problem, working on a project, or simply reflecting on your goals, being alone creates the conditions for deep work. This depth of engagement leads to higher quality outcomes because your mental energy is concentrated rather than scattered. Creativity, too, flourishes in solitude. Innovation often comes from the ability to think outside the box, and this requires stepping away from the noise of conventional thinking. When you are alone, your thoughts are not influenced or constrained by the opinions of others. You have the freedom to experiment, to imagine, and to entertain ideas that might otherwise be dismissed. In this state of mental freedom, connections between seemingly unrelated concepts can emerge, leading to new insights and creative breakthroughs. Solitude also encourages self-reflection, a process that sharpens both focus and creativity. By spending time with your own thoughts, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. This clarity acts as a guide, helping you prioritize your efforts and align them with your values and aspirations. At the same time, self-reflection can spark creative ideas by allowing you to see patterns, recognize opportunities, and approach challenges with fresh perspectives. Moreover, solitude fosters a sense of flow, the state of being completely absorbed in an activity. In this state, distractions fade away and your mind and body work in harmony. Time seems to slow down and your ability to focus intensifies. This level of immersion not only enhances productivity but also brings a sense of fulfillment and joy to whatever you are doing. The benefits of solitude extend beyond the moment spent alone. The focus and creativity cultivated during these periods carry over into other areas of life. When you've had the chance to think deeply and create freely, you bring a renewed sense of purpose and originality to your work and relationships. You become more effective, more innovative, and more present in everything you do. By embracing solitude, you give yourself the chance to harness the full power of your mind. It is in these quiet moments that you can focus with precision, unlock your creative potential, and develop ideas that truly reflect who you are. Far from being a state of isolation, solitude becomes a source of strength and inspiration, enabling you to approach the world with greater clarity and creativity. Fostering authentic relationships begins with developing a strong and genuine relationship with yourself. The ability to connect deeply with others stems from understanding and appreciating your own values, needs, and boundaries. When you spend time in solitude, you gain clarity about who you are and what you truly seek in your interactions with others. This self-awareness is the foundation for authenticity because it allows you to engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than dependency or insecurity. When you are comfortable being alone, you approach relationships with a sense of choice rather than necessity. Instead of seeking connections to fill a void, you seek them to share your life and experiences. This shifts the dynamic from one of neediness to one of mutual respect and shared growth. Authentic relationships are built on the willingness to show up as your true self, and this becomes possible when you no longer feel the pressure to conform to others' expectations or hide parts of who you are. Solitude also helps you develop emotional resilience, which is crucial for maintaining authentic relationships. Time spent alone teaches you to navigate your own emotions and challenges without relying excessively on others. This independence allows you to be more present and supportive in your relationships because you're not constantly seeking validation or reassurance. Instead, you bring a sense of stability and confidence, which fosters trust and intimacy. Moreover, understanding your own boundaries and values in solitude makes it easier to establish them with others. When you know what matters most to you, you can communicate honestly and assertively in your relationships. This openness creates space for genuine connection, where both parties feel seen, heard, and respected. Authenticity thrives when there is mutual understanding, and that starts with being clear about who you are and what you bring to the relationship. Another benefit of solitude is that it helps you appreciate the quality of your relationships over their quantity. Instead of seeking superficial connections to avoid being alone, you become more intentional about the people you allow into your life. You value depth over breadth, choosing relationships that align with your values and contribute positively to your growth. This discernment ensures that your interactions are meaningful and enriching rather than draining or performative. In addition, solitude provides the time and space to reflect on your relationships. It allows you to assess whether your connections are based on mutual respect and understanding or if they are shaped by unhealthy dynamics. This reflection can help you nurture the relationships that matter and let go of those that no longer serve you. Fostering authentic relationships is not about avoiding solitude, but embracing it as a vital part of the process. When you are at peace with yourself, you bring your true self into your relationships, and this authenticity invites the same in others. The result is a deeper, more meaningful bond that is built on trust, honesty, and mutual growth. In this way, solitude becomes not a barrier to connection, but a catalyst for creating relationships that are genuine and enduring. Becoming your own guide is a transformative journey of self-reliance and inner trust. It is about cultivating the ability to navigate life's challenges and decisions independently, drawing strength from within rather than relying solely on external validation or direction. In a world filled with opinions, expectations, and pressures, the ability to trust your instincts and chart your own course is an invaluable skill. This process begins in solitude, where you create the space to listen to your own voice and develop a deeper understanding of who you are. When you spend time alone, you gain clarity about your values, goals, and priorities. Without the noise of outside influences, you can reflect on what truly matters to you and what path aligns with your authentic self. This self-awareness is the foundation of self-guidance, as it allows you to make choices that are rooted in your own beliefs and desires rather than those imposed by others. It is in these quiet moments that you learn to trust your intuition, the inner compass that often knows what is right for you before logic or reason can catch up. Becoming your own guide also involves taking responsibility for your life. It means recognizing that while others can offer advice or support, you are ultimately the one who must make decisions and face their consequences. This responsibility is empowering because it puts you in control of your own destiny. It teaches you to rely on your inner resources, your wisdom, resilience, and creativity to find solutions and forge your path forward. This process doesn't mean shutting out the world or rejecting input from others. Instead, it means developing the discernment to weigh external advice against your own judgment. When you are your own guide, you listen to others with an open mind, but you do not let their opinions override your inner truth. You learn to filter information through the lens of your values and experiences, choosing what resonates with you and leaving the rest behind. Self-guidance also requires courage, as it often involves stepping into the unknown. When you trust yourself, you become willing to take risks and make decisions that might not always align with conventional wisdom or societal expectations. This bravery stems from the confidence that no matter what happens, you have the strength to adapt and learn. Mistakes and setbacks become opportunities for growth rather than sources of defeat, because you know that you are capable of finding your way forward. Another essential aspect of becoming your own guide is cultivating patience and self-compassion. The journey of self-discovery and self-reliance is not linear, and there will be times when you feel uncertain or lost. In these moments, it's important to treat yourself with kindness and trust that clarity will come. Just as a skilled guide doesn't rush the journey, you must give yourself the time and space to explore, reflect, and grow. Ultimately, becoming your own guide is about building a life that is true to who you are. It's about making decisions that align with your purpose, pursuing goals that ignite your passion, and navigating challenges with confidence and resilience. This inner guidance is a source of strength that no external force can take away. When you trust yourself to lead your own life, you become both the creator and the navigator of your journey, equipped to face whatever lies ahead with clarity, courage, and purpose. In the end, the journey of being alone is not about isolation, but empowerment. It is in solitude that you discover your strength, your purpose, and your ability to guide yourself through life's complexities. By embracing aloneness, you cultivate clarity, creativity, and resilience, becoming a person who is whole and fulfilled in their own right. The strong message is this: solitude is not your enemy, it is your ally. It is the quiet space where you meet your true self, the foundation upon which you build authentic relationships, and the wellspring of your focus and creativity. To stand alone is not to stand apart, it is to stand tall, fully grounded in who you are. In embracing the art of being alone, you unlock the power to live with purpose, confidence, and unshakable inner peace.